There's a moment when she slowly starts to drift away, and you don't understand why. She still smiles, but there's distance hidden inside that smile. She still talks, but the warmth in her voice is gone. You feel it, but you don't accept it. You move closer, and she steps even further back. That moment is quiet, but inside that silence lies the truth, because most women leave long before they say goodbye. They leave in spirit first. Here's the first truth, the one most men never understand until it's too late. Female attraction runs on emotional hunger, not emotional satisfaction. A woman who's emotionally full doesn't chase, she relaxes. She's content, calm, and at peace. But a woman who's slightly emotionally hungry, who feels a little tension, a little uncertainty, a little curiosity, pursues. That's when her mind becomes engaged, her emotions activated, and her desire begins to grow. Most men do the exact opposite. They try to satisfy every emotional need as soon as it appears. They text instantly, reassure constantly, give endlessly, thinking this will make her feel safe and loved. But in truth, what they're doing is killing attraction. Because attraction doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in tension. When you're always available, always responding, always giving, you're not creating connection, you're creating emotional fullness. And emotional fullness kills pursuit. You're serving her a buffet when she needs to feel a little hungry. Desire lives in the gap between what she has and what she wants. If she already has all of you, all the time, there's no space left for desire to breathe. This doesn't mean you play games or manipulate her emotions. It means you understand the psychology of desire. Attraction is not about constant reassurance, it's about emotional rhythm. Giving, then pulling back. Engaging, then creating space. Letting her feel your presence, then your absence. It's the contrast that makes her crave you. When you overgive, she feels full. She stops reaching out, she feels safe, but not excited, loved, but not drawn. The fire fades because there's no oxygen left for it to burn. But when you give measured attention, when your presence feels intentional, not constant, she starts to crave more. She thinks about you when you're not around. She replays your words in her head. She starts to wonder if she has your full attention, and that wondering creates attraction. Here's the second truth, one that changes everything about how attraction really works. Women don't fall for men who need them. They fall for men who choose them. Neediness kills attraction. Independence fuels it. When a man approaches a woman from a place of emotional hunger, she can feel it instantly. You don't even have to say a word. It's in your tone, your eyes, the way you text, the way you wait for her reply. That silent energy tells her, I need you to validate me. And that's where desire dies, because women aren't drawn to need. They're drawn to presence, to confidence, to a man who wants her but doesn't need her. A man who's already whole, who chooses her from strength, not from lack. When you can't walk away, you're not in love, you're in need. And need is built on fear. The fear of losing, the fear of being alone. But love, real love, is born from abundance. It comes from already being complete within yourself and then choosing to share that completeness with someone else. A needy man gives his power away. He chases, he explains, he overproves. And in doing so, he loses the very respect that fuels attraction. But a man rooted in self-worth doesn't chase, he invites. He knows that love isn't something you beg for, it's something you align with. He understands that walking away isn't rejection, it's self-respect. And here's the paradox. The moment you no longer need her is often the moment she starts needing you. Here's the third truth, and it's one most men refuse to accept. A woman's beauty can attract you. Her charm can fascinate you. But neither of those things mean she values you. What truly matters is her behavior, how she treats you when no one's watching, how she speaks to you when she's upset, how much effort she puts in when things aren't convenient. If you're always the one chasing, convincing, explaining, and trying to prove your worth, she doesn't see you as a prize, she sees you as an option. And the brutal truth is, people don't fight for what they believe they already own. A woman who truly values you doesn't just receive your energy, she matches it. She texts back with the same enthusiasm. She plans, invests, and shows up. Because real interest is reciprocal. The moment you stop trying to win women who aren't trying to win you, everything changes. You stop begging for attention and start commanding respect. You stop chasing chemistry and start choosing compatibility. Most men waste years trying to convince the wrong woman, instead of recognizing that indifference is already an answer. So remember, her behavior is her answer. If she's not matching your energy, she's not meant for your life. The right woman won't need convincing. She'll recognize your value, and she'll meet you halfway. Because love isn't built on pursuit, it's built on mutual pursuit. Here's the fourth truth, and it's one that separates men who command respect from men who lose themselves. Your obsession is your weakness. Every time you check her profile, replay old messages, or analyze every word she says, you're not showing love. You're showing loss of control. Every time you sit there wondering why she hasn't replied, imagining what she's doing, who she's talking to, you're leaking power. Obsession isn't love, it's anxiety disguised as passion. And anxiety is the death of attraction. Because the more emotionally unstable you become, the less safe she feels around you. And attraction dies where emotional safety disappears. A man who's centered, who can feel desire without losing his balance, is infinitely more attractive than the one who's constantly seeking reassurance. Why? Because he radiates calm. And calm is magnetic. When your emotions depend on a woman's behavior, you've surrendered your power. You've placed your worth in her hands. And no woman, no matter how much she likes you, will respect a man who abandons himself for her attention. The paradox is simple. The moment you stop obsessing, you regain control. You begin to move from reaction to choice, from chasing to leading. Because true power in attraction isn't about control over her, it's about mastery over yourself. The man who doesn't chase, doesn't panic, doesn't overthink, becomes the man she can't stop thinking about. Here's the fifth truth, the one that explains why so many relationships slowly fall apart, even when love was real. Relationships need balance. Every connection, no matter how strong in the beginning, dies when one person gives everything and the other gives nothing. Because when you overgive, you remove the space for her to invest. And without investment, there's no attachment. It's simple psychology. We value what we earn, not what we're given. If she didn't have to work for your time, your energy, your heart, she can't truly appreciate them. Because what costs nothing is treated like nothing. When you do all the calling, all the planning, all the emotional lifting, you create imbalance. You become the giver. She becomes the receiver. And over time, receivers lose interest because the effort that creates desire is missing. Real attraction is built on exchange, not sacrifice. It's the dance between giving and receiving, pursuit and retreat, closeness and space. If one side overextends, the rhythm breaks. The strongest relationships are the ones where both people contribute, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. Where both invest, both risk, both care. So stop pouring endlessly into women who only sip from your energy. Let her meet you halfway. Let her earn your time, your presence, your affection. Because if she doesn't invest, she'll never attach. And if she never attaches, love becomes one-sided. Remember, she can't value what cost her nothing. And you can't be valued until you learn to hold back what's sacred. Here's the sixth truth, the one that separates temporary attraction from lasting respect. Self-improvement is the only real attraction trigger. Not tricks, not tactics, not manipulation or mind games, just genuine growth. Because women aren't drawn to men who chase validation, they're drawn to men who are becoming something. Not for her, but for themselves. When you build your body, your mind, your discipline, not to impress anyone, but to evolve, something powerful happens. You start to radiate potential, and potential is magnetic. A man who's growing emits a kind of energy that can't be faked. It's confidence without arrogance, presence without performance. He doesn't need to prove his worth. He embodies it. That's why self-improvement is more attractive than any line, look, or lifestyle. Because growth signals movement, and movement is life. While stagnation signals decay, and decay repels. Every time you level up, mentally, physically, spiritually, you shift from needing love to attracting it. You stop asking, how can I get her attention? And start asking, how can I become someone worth her attention? And here's the paradox. When you stop improving for her and start improving for yourself, you become the kind of man every woman feels drawn to. Because nothing shines brighter than a man in motion, a man chasing purpose, not people. Growth is magnetic, stagnation is repulsive, and the most powerful version of you is the one becoming more every single day. Here's the seventh truth, the foundation beneath every form of attraction, confidence, and influence. Your internal state creates your external reality. Women don't truly respond to your words, they respond to your energy. They feel your state before they hear your voice. They sense your confidence, your peace, your centeredness, or your lack of it. Desperation repels, peace attracts. You can say all the right things, send perfect texts, play every game perfectly. But if your energy screams neediness, she'll feel it instantly. Energy doesn't lie. When you're anxious, overthinking, or chasing validation, your vibe tells her you're not grounded. And no woman feels safe or attracted to instability. But when you're calm, present, and emotionally steady, you radiate safety. And safety, not looks or status, is what truly draws a woman in. Complete emotional independence is the ultimate power. Because when your emotions no longer depend on her, that's when she begins to depend on you. You stop reacting. You stop chasing. You start choosing. You become the calm in her chaos, the stillness she didn't know she craved. And that's when attraction flips. She starts seeking your validation instead. The irony of masculine energy is this. When you stop needing her attention, that's when she wants to give it. Because peace is rare, and rare things are irresistible. So master your state, protect your peace, because your energy speaks louder than your words ever could. Here's the eighth truth, the one that flips the entire dynamic of attraction. Women are drawn to men who choose them, not need them. Choice comes from abundance, need comes from desperation, and women can feel the difference instantly. When you operate from choice, your energy says, I want you, but I don't need you. That's power, that's confidence. It tells her you're complete, that your happiness doesn't depend on her attention. But when you move from need, everything changes. Your words might be sweet, but your energy leaks fear. You start over-texting, over-explaining, over-giving, trying to earn what should flow naturally. And that fear kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. That's why the moment you stop chasing, she starts wondering. Not because you're playing games, but because your energy finally shifted. You're no longer signaling desperation. You're radiating value. See, attraction isn't built through pressure, it's built through presence. When you stop seeking her approval, you create mystery, and mystery invites pursuit. Women are naturally drawn to men who have options, not because of ego, but because options signal worth. It means the world chose you, and now you're choosing her. That's what makes your attention valuable. So stop acting like a beggar at the door of affection. Start moving like a man who knows he has something rare to offer. Because the truth is simple, when you act like she's the only one, she'll treat you like she's the only one who matters. But when you move like a man of abundance, she'll do everything to be the one you choose. Ninth truth, focus on your journey, not the result. The goal isn't to get her. The goal is to become the kind of man she wants to get. Become so grounded, so purposeful, so centered, that you're the prize. Here's the 10th truth, the foundation of real masculine strength and lasting attraction. Build practical self-worth. Not the kind you post about, the kind you prove every single day. Most men think confidence comes from appearance, money, or women's approval. But real confidence is built privately, in silence, through the small, consistent promises you keep to yourself. Go to the gym, not to impress anyone, but to honor your body. Wake up early, not to show discipline, but to become discipline. Do the hard work, not because someone's watching, but because you said you would. Every time you follow through, you rebuild trust in yourself, and that trust becomes your power. Discipline builds respect. First yours, then hers. Because women can sense when a man respects himself. It's in how he talks, how he walks, how he carries his silence. Self-respect radiates without words. And here's the truth. You can't expect anyone to value you if you secretly don't value yourself. You can't demand loyalty if you constantly betray your own goals, your own word, your own boundaries. So stop chasing validation and start chasing mastery. Learn to respect your word like a contract with your future. Show up daily, even when no one cares, even when it's boring, even when it hurts. Because self-worth isn't a feeling, it's a practice. It's built in sweat, silence, and self-control. And the moment you start living for your own standard, not for her reaction, you stop being the man who seeks approval and become the man who earns respect. Here's the 11th truth, one of the most uncomfortable yet powerful lessons every man must learn. Women test your strength, always. Every test, every argument, every moment of emotional chaos asks one silent question. Are you as strong as you seem? If you react emotionally, you fail. If you stay grounded, you win. When she pulls away, she's not always rejecting you. Sometimes she's checking your stability. When she creates drama, she's not always trying to hurt you. She's seeing if you'll lose your center. When she flirts with someone else or withdraws her attention, she's not looking for a new man. She's looking for a real man. One who doesn't break under pressure, one who doesn't chase validation, one who remains calm when the world tries to shake him. Because when you stay centered, you project the one thing every woman subconsciously craves: emotional safety. And that's when attraction deepens in a way she can't explain. So for the next 30 days, forget the games, forget the chasing, forget trying to win anyone back. Focus only on yourself, build your body, sharpen your craft, elevate your circle. Every rep, every project, every hour of focus rebuilds your frame, your masculine core. And once that happens, everything changes. The same women who ignored you will start noticing you, not because you manipulated them, but because your energy evolved. You stopped being needy and started being needed. You stopped chasing attention and started becoming the man who commands it effortlessly. Because real power isn't in proving your worth, it's in embodying it. The truth is simple. Women don't want to be your mission. They want to join a man who already has one. The moment she becomes your purpose, she feels pressure. The moment she becomes part of your purpose, she feels desire. Attraction is triggered not by what you do for her, but by who you are without her. The man who doesn't need a woman for validation becomes the man every woman wants to validate. Becoming that man, that's the real game. Not chasing, not proving, becoming.